Hi, and welcome to the Selling in the Motor Trade podcast in association with CarWow, the online car-changing destination. Together, we share tips and ideas on how to sell more cars, improve your service department, and generally put more profit into your department, dealership, or dealer group. I'm your host, Simon Bokert, or some of you might already know me as Skippy. Firstly, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to listen to this podcast. Hi, welcome to another episode of Selling in the Motor Trade. Now, guys, I've got to tell you, this shocked me. People really like the idea of these tips and these ideas, and everyone's just sharing this in their sales meetings and with all their salespeople there. So we're going to continue on with the objections at the meet and greet stage. Now, what if someone says, what's your best price on that car? Right at the beginning of the process. Now, we've been talking about meet and greet on a physical dealership when people walk in. But this one you could almost use on the phone and also digital inquiry as well. It's the concept to start with. And we're just going to give you 3 different techniques here that you might like to try. Okay. So firstly, let's paint the scenario again. A customer walks into the dealership. You meet and greet them. Good morning, good afternoon. What brings you here today? They're looking at that lovely chair roller. If you don't know why I call it a chair roller, go back to a few episodes and we'll explain exactly why back then. Okay. And within the first 2 minutes, someone says, hey, what's your best price? What deal can you do it? Okay. How are you currently dealing with it? Well, that is the best price. Well, the best price is the price on the screen. That's the best price for us. Okay. Well, we're a no haggle dealership, sir. That's why no haggle means that is the best price. Well, if agency, Mercedes says we're not allowed to do anything other than that price. And in fact, that is the price that everyone's going to get right across the country. You could do those things, but why don't we make sure the car's right before we get into the numbers? Here's the first one. Simple 3-step technique. Within the first 2 minutes, bear in mind, you've done the meet and greet, you've built rapport, they've turned around and said, hey, what's about that particular car that put it on your shopping list? And they say, so what's your best price? I might start off and say, hey, listen, getting the numbers right is the easiest part of my job. In fact, if we don't sell someone a car, it's rarely over the money side of it. But you know what? Unless that car is exactly right for you, no price is going to be good enough. So let me grab the keys and make sure the car's right for you. Now, you may or may not even know the customer's name at that stage. So if they said it right from the beginning, well, I'm sorry, I didn't introduce myself. I'm Simon, you are. Okay. So let's go through those 3 steps. Okay. Number 1, hey, listen, getting the numbers right, that's the easiest part of my job. But tell them why. It's the easiest part of my job because in the internet world, if we're not on the front page of Auto Trader, we just don't get the inquiry. Okay. Or getting the numbers right is the easiest part of my job because we're the largest Honda group in the country. And we don't get that way without getting the numbers right. Okay. Or getting the numbers right is the easiest part of my job because, and tell them what, we don't have the overheads that some of the bigger dealer groups have. Or getting the numbers right is the easiest part of my job because we're the biggest Volkswagen dealer in Dublin. And we don't get that way without getting the numbers right. Okay. So that's why getting the numbers right is the easiest part of my job. Number 2, you know, if we don't sell someone a car, it's rarely over the money side of it. And number 3 is the key to it. But you know what? Unless that car is exactly right for you, no price is going to be good enough. Let me just grab the keys and make sure the car's exactly right. Now, if you're over the phone, so when's a good time for us to get together and make sure that car's exactly right for you? Through the week or maybe a weekend. Okay. The key to it for me at the end is unless that car is exactly right for you, no price is going to be good enough. Because your customer's got 2 choices now. They have to turn around and say, well, no, the car is exactly right for me. Or allow them to be slowed down. Now, I'd take either of them within the first 2 minutes. If you've got a customer saying, no, that car's exactly right for me, I'd run with it. Okay. So that's the first technique you might want to try. Now, if someone keeps on pushing and said, well, no, the car is right. All I want's your best price. You might try this second technique. Okay. This one here is just the trade-in or the part exchange. Well, Mr. Customer, the best price is always going to be the amount of money coming out of your pocket. So what we need to do is have a look at your car just so we can get the best balance to change and monthly payments. That's the important thing, really, isn't it? Now, for the people watching this podcast, you'll see my head nodding in the yes format, okay? And I've assumed two things on that technique. What are the two things? Number one, we've assumed they've got a car to trade in. And number two, I've assumed they're going to be on monthly payments. Listen to it again, okay? No, the car's right for me. I want to know is what's your best price? Well, the best price is always going to be the amount of money coming out of your pocket. So what we need to do is have a look at the car that you're looking to part exchange or trade in, just so we can get the best balance change and monthly payments. That's the important thing, really, isn't it? Okay. People say yes to that, and they've assumed they've got a trade in, and they're on monthly payments there. Now, if you're in the UK listening to this, we know that 89% of people in a franchise dealership have got a car they're considering trading in. Find that what that is in the country you're listening to this. But if 89% of people in a franchise dealership have got a car they're considering part exchanging, just assume they've got one. Don't say, do you have a car to trade in? Because if you just say, do you have a car to trade in? That's the customer that'll spring the trade in on you right at the end. You go through the whole process. They'll get to the end and go, oh, by the way, what would you give me for this? And then you're in a funny place called knackered, okay? And also just assume they're on finance. That's the second technique, okay? Or here's the third one. Now this one, please be careful with. This is a proper slap to the customer. Metaphorically, please don't actually slap a customer. That would be very bad, okay? And pick the type of customer you use with this. I tend to use this with the bastard. You know the customer. Customer comes and says, no, you're not listening to me, son. It's been many years since I've been called son. Okay, you're not listening to me, son. All I want is your best price. Come on, just give me your best price, okay? What I'm going to attempt to do is slow these people down by speeding them up, okay? Now, firstly, try one of the first two techniques first, okay? But then they turn around and say, no. Listen, stop dicking me about. All I want to know is what's your best price, son, okay? You might go straight into, thank goodness for that. Someone who wants to buy a car. I just spent 2 hours with the last people that we can't even supply it because it's through their company. So if you'd like to come inside, we'll get that sorted for you. All right, then the customer go, well, no, I just want a price. There might be, oh, I'm sorry. I'm rushing you. You haven't even had a chance to see if the car's right. I didn't even introduce myself. I'm Simon, you are? Listen, sorry for that. See how you almost slow them down? By speeding them up. Hey, thank goodness for that. Someone wants to buy a car. I just spent 3 hours with the last people that we can't even supply it because it's through their company. So if you'd like to come inside, we'll get that sorted for you. Now, sometimes they don't even say anything. It's just the look on their face, okay? And then it's almost, oh, I'm sorry. I'm rushing you. You haven't even had a chance to see if the car's right. Here's a bit of a war story for you. Nikki, if you listen to this is you, sir, in a Hyundai dealership in Wexford. Nikki sold a car. We got involved with it. It was to a farmer. Now, if you're new to the industry, let me tell you, farmers are great negotiators. Farmers will beat you up on price. This particular farmer, from memory, Nikki, he wouldn't even get out of his car. He's on the forecourt saying, what's your best price on it? It's actually the last technique got him out of the car, helped slow him down, and got that sale. Okay, because we knew we had to slow this guy down. It was best price, okay? Hey, thank goodness that. Someone wants to buy a car. Okay, listen, we spent a few hours with the last people that we can't even supply it because it's a lease company through head office. So like, come inside, we'll get that sorted for you. I can't remember it word for word, but he did went, well no, I just want a price. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm rushing you. You haven't even had a chance to see if that car's right. I didn't even introduce myself. I'm Simon. Listen, let me get the keys to make sure the car's exactly right for you. Because you know what? Unless that car's right, no price is going to be good enough. Okay. We slowed the guy down by speeding him up. Now, here's a caveat to this one. Please be so careful with it. You have to deliver it subserviently. If you deliver it cheeky, and I'm a cheeky salesperson, the downside is cheekiness comes across as cockiness. And cockiness is so close to arrogance, and you're going to really wreck the deal. You've got to deliver this very soft. Now, if you're ever on our open courses, the road sale course, we'd say to people, if you've not been selling for at least 2 years, don't even try this technique yet. If you're using that technique more than 3 times a quarter, once a month, I'd say you're probably using it too much. It's just for that bastard. The one to use to start with, they'll work with most customers is, hey, getting the numbers right is the easiest part of my job. Because in the internet world, if we're not on the front page of CarZone, we just don't get an inquiry. In fact, if we don't sell someone a car, it's rarely over the numbers of it. But unless that car is exactly right, no price is going to be good enough. Let me just grab the keys and make sure it's right for you. Anyway, listen, you probably listened to this in one of the sales meetings. You might be a manager thinking, can I use this in our sales meetings? That's what this podcast is all about. It's sharing tips and ideas on how to sell more cars, improve the service department, and try and put more money into your dealership. So listen, do me a favor. You might want to share this with your whole sales team and some of the other techniques we've been talking about on slowing people down. I'll see you next time. That just leaves me to say that all details of this episode and other episodes on the selling in the motor trade can be found on our website, simcotraining.co.uk. Go there to get a copy of our book, Words That Sell Cars. Go there to sign up to a free trial of our Sales Fitness online sales training program. Easiest way to get hold of me is Simon Bokert through LinkedIn. Thank you.